Good morning to you, Gloria.
Good morning.
How are you doing?
Salama sana.
Good to see you.
Yes.
Habari ya Kenya. Naona uko mbali na microphone yako. Naona umetorokea microphone. Niko sanitize, usiogope, najua Kenya wanaogopa kufa.
Tunaogopa corona, so we are taking precautions.
Iko sanitize, usikuwa na wasiwasi. Imefanywa kitu inaitwa fumigation. Jioni tukitokanga tunachemsha kwa maji. Hope you're well.
I'm well.
Good to see you.
Yes.
Dunia inaje, chief amefika kwenu mabado?
Kwetu? Tuwezi kubali. You know, as we are sensitizing those people. We are telling them that we know our rights and we know what government services look like and where we should spend our money.
It doesn't look like that.
It doesn't look like that.
Anyway, I'll give you an opportunity to introduce yourself as well. You introduce yourself to these Kenyans who are watching you.
I'm Gloria Roba.
Na utume salamu.
I'm an active Kenyan. Nataka kutuma salamu to all the followers and everyone out there who's youth and is looking forward to change this country. Yeah.
All right, asante sana. Mshendu pia salimia wananchi kidogo, alafu tujue kazi itaanzia wapi.
Good morning everybody. It's good to be here. You know, sisi ni watu wa kazi. Every time we come here in the morning we want
Lazima mgeni.
Kwani simeniambia ni introduce.
Haya jiongelewe.
Are you not sure of what you want, my brother? I want to say hi to everybody who is listening this morning. We are here again to tell you the truth, that you may not so much fight in the mainstream media. We will tell you what they don't want you to hear, so that you can make an informed decision.
Lakini vile mlifanyia Nyokabi jana kina Lucia haki ya nani? Makosa sana.
No.
Nyokabi alisema hakupewa warning ya kwamba kuna makombora zinatupwa.
No. Let me tell you.
Angekuja na helmet.
Wanakafika hapa wala ni mawe zinaanguka.
Nyokabi was a former women rep. Na yeye ni wakili. Ukikuja show kama hii unakuja umejitayarisha. Umekuja na vitu za kukinga. But then I want to say thank you to Lucia for getting the truth out of the commissioner, because despite working for government, he at some point accepted that this
She was very honest. Alisema yenyewe gava yenyewe ni ngori lakini ni sawa.
You know. So that's what this show does. You come here, we will get the truth out of you one way or the other. That's basically what happens.
Asante sana. Thank you so much. I just want to appreciate Maridadi Motors. Maridadi Motors, thank you so much for partnering with us. Kama unataka kuosha gari uko pale Kiambu Road, enda Sierra Mall. Sierra Mall kuna mahali inaitwa Spark Clean by Maridadi Motors. Unaenda kimbia pale unapewa I think I still have some vouchers left. I'll see. Kwanza nitapea Mshendo na nipe Gloria. Kanabiri waende waosha magari. Maridadi Motors, thank you so much. Kama unataka gari pia, this is only trusted dealer to do direct imports for you. Kutoka pale Shapani bila pressure. Itwa Maridadi Motors, trust the process. Haya, hii accusations ya kusema ya kwamba chief wanalazimisha watu kusign BBI. Is it true? Mshendo, where you come from?
It is absolutely true.
It's happening in there?
Yes. No, actually, yesterday I was talking to a group of young people from a place called Kalanji, Limuru town. They were invited, they are in the Kazi Mtaani program. They were invited very early in the morning by the chiefs. Apparently they were supposed to be given the new routes. They will go to do cleaning and using the pangas as they normally do. But the first thing you had to do was you had to sign BBI. Sign BBI kama unataka ku remain kwa program. If you do not sign it, you are no longer part of the program. It's unfortunate, it's very unfortunate that we have come to a place where we are coercing Kenyans through extra legal means to have them sign this document. You heard Professor Kibwana last night say that they were being told that they were signing the coronavirus
vaccine.
Yes,
the vaccine,
yes, they will be given vaccines in Makueni. I mean, it is crazy. It is unheard of what this government is willing to do. You know, people think it's a joke when you see people saying that it was very difficult for PPEs and coronavirus related merchandise to reach a place like Chebi Desert in Turkana. But somehow the BBI signing document has found its way to the most remote place in this country. It talks about a government that has its priorities upside down. And it is sad that you have to coerce Kenyans. Have you seen internal memos from PSs of the national
Parastatus,
government.
yeah.
Yes.
And actually, it's not even about the current ongoing signature collection. When BBI was at the thick of things during Corona, we have seen cabinet secretaries and PSs during events, where they are visiting institutions such as Kenya Ports Authority. And you see them, instead of going there to perform the work that they are supposed to go and do, whether it is oversight or the meetings or the gatherings or workshops that they are doing, you could actually see them there trying to tell government officials that, this BBI is a government initiative. And because it's a government initiative, we have to support it because we are civil servants. So they were actually engaged in campaigns for that initiative way before they even started collecting the signatures. So, and that is the time when we asked and we said, as a cabinet secretary, as a permanent secretary, you are supposed to have that political obscurity because your work is to serve Kenyans. Your work is not to push a political agenda for a certain part of the divide. So this thing about the signatures coming, now they're using, it's not even shocking. If they had the audacity, if they had the guts to actually push cabinet secretaries and permanent secretaries and CASs, which by the way, shame on them, to go and campaign for a popular initiative, an initiative that is actually, it's not a government service. So one of the other things that was very shocking, I was on set with Mark Bichache, and he came out finally and said, and for me, when Mark speaks, Mark is a government spokesperson.
Oh yeah, Dipste.
Kabisa. When he said that now we have, this initiative was actually sponsored by government. It is the first time I ever had anybody admit, because remember we were asking, nani analipia kitu? Hizi pesa zinatoka wapi? Mnashinda mkitupeleka bomas kutununulia soda and things like that. Where is this money coming from? Kumbe, this money is coming from our pockets. You understand? So, and he said, yes, it was government sponsored. And then I asked, and I've been asking people, if it is government sponsored, you cannot tell us now at kama mnataka kufanya referendum ingine, mtafungua your own, and then mtengeneze your own initiative. And sisi tukienda saizi as the youth, and we start our own initiative that says this is an initiative that we are going to empower the youth economically because they are the backbone of this society, and we want to amend certain parts of the constitution. Are we going to get that same funding that the Building Bridges initiative has gotten from our money, from the taxpayers' money? So it is wrong, even when they keep telling us the ship has sailed and sasa it's time, kama mnataka kuenda you can convene, ati ni yetu, si hata punguza mzigo ilikuwa yao, so kila mtu anaweza tengeneza yao. The point is, if you are spending government resources and you're not giving us a service, you're spending government resources to push a political process that is of one side of the divide, then we are entitled to question you. We are actually entitled to even ask you, like right now, we want to see audited reports of the representation. Those people who came and said, me as a Kenyan, I want an expanded executive. Can we see a list of them?
Of the proposals.
So that we can, because you're spending our money. If you're spending our money, then we can question you. And that is why we are speaking authoritatively and saying, we don't care whether you think your 9-point agenda is what we should have. Those are your thoughts. But because you're spending our money, then we are telling you from the 9-point agenda, you're going to add this other 90 points because you're spending our money.
But you make them 99.
Yes.
And the question is, Gloria, my question is it the way this thing is, the signature has been called, is it legal? When a government says it's a government project, is a constitution will change a government project?
Remember,
and the way they're collecting these signatures, because it needs to be from a willing point.
Yes.
It's a Kenyan. I want this, I don't want this. Is it legal what they are using? The mechanism
my peers who are lawyers and who like saying, the law is clear, I speak authoritatively, they went to school, nini. I'm not a lawyer, and I do not have those masters and those PhDs. But my layman understanding of what a government should provide to the people and the monies they should spend is towards services. Services to be offered. Now I'm asking, if you have spent this money on Building Bridges initiative, as a Kenyan, I should ask myself, what service have I gotten from this initiative? Because when you tell me you're spending money in the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, at least I know, at the bare minimum, you are ensuring that if my I'm in somewhere in Saudi Arabia or wherever, I can go to an embassy and say nisaidieni hivi na hivi. If you're telling me you're spending money in healthcare, at least I know if I go level 4, level 5 or a government hospital, at the very least a nurse will come and take my temperature. And you know, what services have we gotten from the Building Bridges initiative for them to say that this is a government initiative? Because the objective of government funding is to provide services to its people, and its people being the citizens. So my question to all of these people who say at you know, because it's the president's agenda to push for national cohesion, so he thought this is one of the ways, because he didn't have a ministry of national cohesion, so this is one of the ways that he's going to push the national cohesion because it's under his jurisdiction as the president. I want to ask, okay, Building Bridges initiatives have happened, the business objective being national cohesion. That is the justification that you're saying you spent the money. Can someone tell me how, now me as a Kenyan, I have received, I have actually said, thanks to BBI, me and my colleague who we sit in the office, who we are from different tribes or different political opinions, we can say, now
finally,
we can love each other. Thanks to the money that BBI, you understand? It's nonsense. It's nonsense.
Mushande.
You know, Bitoka have always said,
what is legal and illegal in process?
Let me tell you, the fallacy is that there is someone who sits somewhere and believes that you can actually registrate goodwill. You cannot.
Good manners.
You good manners, tabia mzuri, you cannot registrate. Those will have to be determined by the individual capacity to actually become good person. And let me tell you, I have always said that with BBI, we cannot sanitize this process because it is fraud from the word go. How are we financing BBI? That is a very big question we are asking ourselves. And I always tell you, it is not a coincidence. The time we started Building Bridges initiative, this country spent 1 year without an auditor general. The president spent a whole year waiting to appoint an auditor general despite having been given those names by the Public Service Commission. And you see, this process, the process of amending the Constitution is not wrong. Because I have always said Constitution is a comprehensive document that is alive, that is a document that we can, it is a progressive document that we can amend anytime we want if we feel that by amending it, it is going to change for better in this country. That is not a problem. The problem is the process you use to amend the Constitution. Is that process overboard? And I'll tell you, if you ask the wakilis who have gone to school and to do, it will take like 10 years if we were to change the process. Can you imagine? We are changing. We are going to amend 72 different articles of this Constitution. 72. And somebody has the audacity to reduce that to a yes and no question. Amending 72 different articles of this Constitution.
Is it 72 or 78?
They're actually the major ones, because 72, and then of course you have an article that has more than 3 amendments, an article which would have 3 or more amendments. 72 amendments. It's crazy that someone would want to reduce that to an amendment. You know, we are talking about, the Constitution of Kenya talks about an amendment, not amendments. Yes, it talks about an amendment, not amendments.
Najua historia watasema ile historia ya May and Will.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
PhDs and masters, so
I
they
did
are going to
not.
bring
I
that
did not go to.
conversation.
Yes, I did not go to school to do law, but I know this country is part of the Commonwealth countries. We are part of the Commonwealth of nations, and therefore, if we are talking about referendum, and I have insisted this, that the first thing we ought to do is we ought to create a referendum law in this country. If you look at the countries that have referendum laws like UK and other places, if you look at the, what do you call it, judicial, what?
Jurisprudence.
Jurisprudence. I'm not a learned friend. But if you look,
Finally, at least we can use a word in law. Jurisprudence.
exactly. If you look at Commonwealth nations, and you look at those nations that have actually come up with the referendum laws, you vote on articles. You do not vote like unachukua constitution amendment unaziweka pamoja kama unapika getheri alafu you don't do that, you don't do that. Let me tell you, let me give you an example. Today, if you look at the amendment that concerns the youth commission, and I've looked at youth commissions in 17 different countries, I probably would say yes to that particular amendment because it touches on the biggest chunk of young people in this country who are not employed, who have not been considered on government top jobs. I would vote yes. But then I would want to say no to the expansion of representation and the executive. But nobody seems to think that I should have that option in the referendum. I should just wake up one morning and just pass 72 different amendments.
And you know, it's funny you talk about that if you look at that amendment on the Youth Commission, you would probably pass it because it touches on the lives of 75% of Kenyans.
Yes.
I would actually not vote for it because it is not actionable. Because the timelines around it, again, it will just be like the 2/3 gender rule, which never really had any, you cannot tie down anybody or there's no timeline, and they can keep saying that, you know, we are still trying to work on it in terms of instituting the Youth Commission. The other reason why I would vote no for it is because I would question that we already have the National Youth Council, and the mandate of the National Youth Council is similar to that of the one that they are trying to put on the Youth Commission. And in fact, the difference between the National Youth Council that is in existence, that has a budget, that has already depleted so much of our funds, that has cartels, I call them the youth cartel, because it's a few of those youth who happened to be in the inner circle, who happened to know someone who knows someone who knows someone who's in the dynasty.
Oh my.
Those people decided, hii ni biashara yetu, na hii kioski yetu, we are going to run it like this, and the profits will go into our pockets, and there's no business there. They are not trying to execute any of the objectives of their mandates. So what will be the difference when we pass another kind of agency that is the same, has the same mandate, that is going to be controlled by the same people? By the Gerald Ocha nikwambie venye nilikuwa huko Bomas, ile launch ya BBI. You would have seen in the corner that had at youth representatives, they were sitting on my far right. Now Waitanga Youth Cartel, because that corner had people who've been paid for the last couple of years to appear to push the youth agenda, to appear to sort of bring that inclusivity in terms of government, whether it's in elective seats or in the executive. And when Nani stood up and spoke, what is that guy, Alex?
Yes.
Matere
gave a very powerful speech, and talked about all those things that people who go to school to study masters and PhDs, and quoted all those people that he was quoting. Some of the quotes were wrong. At the end of the day, can you show me where Alex Matere is now? And after that launch and his powerful speech where he received his allowance, ask him whether he is empowered. Ask him whether, other than the fact that they are called once or twice to go and sit and appear youthful in this initiative.
What do you mean appear youthful?
Ask him even if he truly believes in that youth commission. Those same people will tell you, unajua sasa hii BBI, you get on board. The best thing is to get on board because when this youth commission is passed, because we are the initiators of the, you know, they truly believe
Pale mbele utapata kakiti.
Hata sisi tutapata kakiti tukae pale because it's a youth cartel. They don't care about the other
But the
people.
question is, even Gloria, to talk about it, we give practical solutions to other people. When it comes to young people, we give them promises. We are
Exactly.
expanding the executive is very practical. Like when you go to power, you're going to be a prime minister, you're going to be this and this. But the young people are telling them, you guys relax, we'll give you a commission that will look into the issues.
And hata hiyo commission hawatuambii, as much as wanajaribu kusema we are going to have representative down to ward level and this, they are not telling us what that commission will do that is so different from this National Youth Council. In fact, the only difference that I can state out is that the National Youth Council that we have now sits under the Ministry of Youth. It was Youth and Gender before. And so it is not autonomous. Basically, kwa wale wajaenda shule kama wengine wetu sisi hatuna masters, it means that if they want to do some activities, they have to go where? They have to go to the minister, and then get those approvals. But then the youth commission that they are now proposing, the difference between that and what is in existence is that the youth commission is going to be an independent state agency that is autonomous, meaning it is going to stand on its own. It will have its board, it will have its people. Again, the youth cartel will be able to control it and do with it whatever it is they want to do with it without the oversight of the cabinet secretary. So, but other than that, you can't huwezi sema ati tukiletewa hiyo youth commission sasa hii shida ya unemployment yenye tuko nayo, you know, that we don't have jobs or that kazi mtaani is not the solution. You can't say how that youth commission is actually going to sit down and say we are going to push for social enterprises, we are going to push perhaps to even bring foreign investors to come and pump in money to these youth groups or youth whatever that we have. You can't actually bring it down to solving the problems being unemployment, the problems being underrepresentation. Like now, if you're talking to any youth, they'll tell you, I would like to vie. You know, those when you wamejitokeza wanakwambia I want to vie, I want to, mi naona ni kama naweza kufika hiyo kiti ya MCA, naona ni kama naweza kufika kiti ya MP. But beyond that, you ask them, so utasaidika vipi? Do you have someone to help you put your brand together? Do you have something? Is there an institution you can go to government where they can give you electoral laws, where you can start understanding how to campaign, where you can, hizo vitu zote zenye tunatafuta, the real things that we are actually looking for in terms of underrepresentation of the youth in elective politics, they are not being addressed. So at the end of the day, hata mkitupatia your youth commission, we know very well the people who are going to be in that youth commission. We know that the children of the dynasties are going to be given that commission. We know that they are going to bring their relatives. We know that they are going to trade it with the akina Alex Matere huko wakiambiwa waseme speech. We know that they are going to be told, thank you very much for showing that you are nini, ka hapa kwanza uonyeshe. That's the thing.
You're also saying we have commissions. When you're talking about building bridges, actually, we have NCIC. They're supposed to build bridges for Kenyans. It's a very independent commission. Then why has it not worked? Why do we need a document?
You know, this government sometimes is a very serious joke. You know who is the chairman of the National Cohesion Committee in Parliament? Of all the people, Maina Kamanda. And that is the day you realize that this country is a serious big joke. Just imagine that the Jubilee government has given the leadership of the National Cohesion Committee in Parliament to Maina Kamanda. And that is when you realize that sometimes they are a very serious joke. Because you do not, Maina Kamanda and Cohesion, Maina goes south and Cohesion will go north. They can never meet somewhere. These are some of the things we are saying that when you look at the Katiba 2010, what has been implemented and what hasn't, you realize the biggest chunk of this constitution has not been implemented. And you ask yourself, why do we really need that particular BBI to come and amend the constitution? I've always said that if today's constitution was well utilized and Kenyans got to know that this Katiba has been well utilized, and you approach Kenyans and you tell them, we want to expand the executive so that we can be able to deliver better than we have done. Kenyans will not have a problem with expanding an executive. But the current executive as it is a total failure. You want to tell Kenyans to come and expand a failure. That is what you are telling us.
Let's expand.
Not only in ile kitu tunasemanga wale wa PhD, you want to fund government to scale up mediocrity. Because you are so mediocre at this point.
You want to motivate mediocrity.
We want to scale it. We want to scale it.
You want to make it bigger.
Yes, we want to make it bigger because it's too small.
So it can serve you better.
Exactly.
All right, Mushendo.
You know these things, and I'll tell you. You saw yesterday that Parliament debated a motion on putting a caveat on the PPEs. Doctors are dying. The Minister for Health the other day stood and told us that he has given directive that whatever is in the KEMSA warehouses must be sold at the current market value. KEMSA has gone to court and refused to sell the merchandise. This country, we have serious issues that needs government to look at. Look at our Kenya shillings. I told you the other day that every day you hear that the value of the Kenya shillings has dropped with 1 shilling. Our debt increases with 35 billion every day. And the Kenya shillings the other day has reached its all-time low. That tells you that our economy is on a downfall trajectory. But this government is not interested in an economic recovery program. They are so much invested in a document that, for lack of a better word, it's supposed to be this miraculous thing that is going to overturn the economy of this country, that is going to make me love my brother from the other tribe magically like this. It is like bringing two. You remember when we were in high school, we would have the magnets and everything to scoop things in the laboratory that even if the fume chamber is crossed and you want to steal something, you will use that magnet. It is like this document is a magnet of it is gonna stack me and be talk like this. Na sisi tutakuwa marafiki forever and ever
Chanda
and
na
ever.
pete.
Chanda na pete. That is what they are telling us about this document. But I will tell you, if there is a country that has an influx of laws, it is this republic.
By the way, let me ask a question now that you've brought that. And I had Governor Nyang' Nyong'o being asked this question. Fumble hapo akatuambia vitu haziko na Kiingereza and he didn't answer it. Kiprofessor aliulizwa. Sasa, because our issue has been post-election violence, yeah? Our issue has been that every 5 years when we go to the ballot, we need another 2 years to recalibrate because people are feeling aggrieved. Tunaenda kwa streets ni akaulizwa sasa, how is this Building Bridges initiative going to solve that problem? How is the expanded executive going to solve that problem? Akasema vitu aziko, you know, and I was really hoping at least give me something. And they were talking about, you know, if there's no winner takes it all, then everyone feels as if wamepata something small. And that shows you that the Building Bridges initiative is not a process that is neutral. They're looking at it when they say if everyone gets something, what they really mean is if Raila Odinga happens to go to the ballot against William Ruto, and William Ruto wins, and Raila Odinga thinks that maybe there was a flawed process. At least because we understand his nature, akipewa prime minister, and we have seen when he was a prime minister, he'll be okay. Akipewa leader of the opposition, na iekwe office na ipewe funding, he'll be fine. But now, people asked, wakienda William Ruto, waende Raila Odinga, na wende, let's say, for instance, hata huyo Kivuta Kibwana, ama let's say, hata, you know, people are underestimating Governor Sonko, lakini Governor Sonko akisikia tu akona kamaso, akisikia tu zimemwamsha, aseme now he's vying and he goes and mobilizes, because we know he mobilizes. And two of the other people who are not Raila Odinga feel that their election was stolen. How will this expansion of the executive ensure that those other two people don't go to the streets
without a problem?
So, you know, and they were trying to say, you know, it reduces the risk, because once everyone feels like they are part of the process and that they are getting something out of elections, then it means that we are going to have a reduced risk of people going to the streets. But is that really why we go for elections? And the issue has never been about people not getting something out of the election. The issue has always been about the nature of how we conduct our elections, meaning the transparency of the processes that we have, the independence of the processes that we have. So if we are truly honest that BBI was now, we are saying, umeenda hospitali umeambiwa uko na malaria. Kama uko na malaria, how is it naenda kukupatia dawa za cancer? You understand?
Yeah.
So if tumeenda hospitali na tumeona shida ni, people are saying elections zao zinaibiwa nini things like that, then we should come back and BBI actually, out of the 72 amendments that are being done, we should have been seeing a large percentage of those amendments addressing the electoral laws addressing the IEBC. But tunaona waliguzaguzia IEBC ati commissioners tutafanya hivi tufanya wachana na hiyo, but then they didn't really go to the muscle of it, because remember, people will come and say nimeibiwa kwa sababu number one mulikataa kufungua servers. If we had a law that could clearly stretch out the process of this is how we are conducting elections, this is how people are going to cast their vote, this is how the ballots are going to be handled, this is how the procurement process of even the material of elections are going to be. If we had, because hapo ndio mashida zinaanza kukuja tio, kuna makaratasi sijui zilinunuliwa Dubai zikapelekwa wapi sijui center gani. If you truly address those issues, then no Kenyan would be fighting a referendum that is addressing all the issues that we as citizens have witnessed and seen that this is the problem. So my point here being, hiyo kitu nimesikia watu wakisema ati tuwekewe hizo amendments zote 72 ama ni 78, however many they are, and we append our signatures against the ones that we think this is what our country needs at this point. That is a very brilliant idea, and I believe it never came from a professor or a master's degree holder. It just came from a person who's like, guys, common sense must prevail. Not everyone wants an expanded executive. Not everyone wants for you to touch on the independence of the judiciary. Not everyone wants you to meddle with the National Police Service. And even those women who you want to give an extra 180 or is it 200 seats munawarushia ni kama ni, you know, that episode for Oprah, you can get one, everyone can, kila mtu anaweza pata, you know, that is not empowerment.
It's addition, first of all.
Empowerment is when I know that I am competing equally with Muchedu, who is a man, and I am actually getting that seat on merit. And when I get that seat, you will not come here and call me a flower girl. And by the way, this is the reason I wear my flower every day, to remind you, I can be a girl who has a brain, and it doesn't mean I'm a flower girl. Lakini if you start throwing free things, free goodies at me, hivyo ndio mnatudharau, na hivyo ndio tukikuja parliament tunaambiwa flower girls simameni pande hii, na wale wengine wenye wako na maso msimame pande hii. You understand? Yeah. So I think for me, let us just be honest. And by the way, when Kenyans are being told, go and append your signature, you could be selling your liver. You could be selling your land. You could, in fact, you could be selling your child. Ukiambiwa tipande hii ni BBI signature pabe, what do you mean? Wewe kazi yako tu ni kwenda kuappend. Mwambie kitu ya kwanza, umwambie akikwambia pande hii ni signature, mwambie nipatie hiyo kitabu ya BBI 3 nisome before niweke signature. That's how you end this thing, because hawana hizo vitabu. Yeah.
All right, Mushandu.
You know,
the deputy president, now that Gloria has mentioned about the DP today, anapatana na MPs, 150 MPs who are supporting him. And he has been accused of being the new Kalonzo, new watermelon. Liona Altanjana Kasema is the new watermelon.
but Bitok, has at any given time the deputy president ever supported or said against that document? The deputy president has never supported. He has never objected that document. Somehow he has found himself somewhere that he has never taken a stand on the document. You know, you would call somebody a watermelon if today I took a stand saying the document is good, then tomorrow I say the document is bad, then tomorrow I say the document looks like the watermelon of this particular document should be Musalia Mudavadi. He is the one who has been, it is good, it is bad, it looks like it is good, you know. So therefore, you cannot accuse the deputy president of actually taking any position regarding this document. And today, as he meets his allies, I still think and I still believe he will still insist on consensus. He will still insist on an contested referendum. And I will tell you, the people, it is like the way you just wish. I wish Bitok will oppose me in a debate. They are praying day and night.
Naomba kabisa.
Wanaomba karibu waende kuomba na kufunga for the deputy president to say no to this document. Because kuna watu wamekaa wamefanya mahesabu pale Gigiri kwa ofisi ya mama fulani hapo. Wamefanya mahesabu ya how much money they will make out of this BBI. But inakaa the deputy president anafanya githeri yao imwagike kwa sababu he is not fighting this document. We have Mother Karua, we have other people who have come out with the Rinda Katiba initiative, but the proponent of BBI are still not satisfied that the deputy president has not come out to oppose this document. And they are trying every trick on the book to have him oppose this document. You cannot...
But he has been critical on it. Why
No.
choosing to oppose it?
Let me tell you, being critical of this document doesn't mean necessarily that you oppose this
Alisema
document.
itaanguka, tutaangusha.
No.
Na unasikia watu wanasema ati you know it's as if Martha Karua is not a human being, ni kama hawezi. It's as if akina Kivusa Kibwana are not politicians. So people are saying ati the BBI no campaign is a headless snake without DP. Sasa nyinyi honestly unajua you sit and you're like, kwani these other people, those are not heads.
No, let me tell you.